Hey guys, welcome back to Selenium with Java, September 2023 batch, online to training session 8. In today's session, I will start with TestNG, where you can get to know what is TestNG and the step-by-step installation guide, what are the TestNG annotations, how you can enable or disable a test, how you can prioritize the test cases and how you can perform sequential execution, what is hard and soft assertion in TestNG, what is the importance of depends on method, always run, invocation count, invocation timeout, and skip fail invocation attribute in TestNG, and how instead of running a single test, a single class, right, you can run multiple class from the multiple packages, as well as you can create a suite using TestNG. So what is TestNG? As of now, what you see, right? You have tried to create a kind of Java class, and you have tried to add your different line of code. But what you fail, right? Whenever you are running the code, right? Maybe you are 100 line, 200 line, 300 line of code, but that will be treated as single test cases. And in case you are running it, it will not also generate any proper report that whether how many pass fail all this stuff. But for that, right, we would require some basic framework, right, where you can get to know instead of single test cases you can create multiple test cases. Instead of running a single class, you can run multiple classes from that same project under the different packages as well. So in normal Java class you cannot do it, so you have to take the help from the TestNG. So TestNG is nothing where NG stand for next generation, is a JUnit inspired open source automated testing framework which provides several features like data driven testing, parameterization support, different utility annotation, test case grouping, which aid in creating robust and powerful testing project. I will cover each and every term down the line. TestNG is designed to cover all category of tests. You can do unit testing, functional testing, integration and end-to-end testing, etc. Using TestNG, user can generate a proper report, right? HTML report you can generate, and whenever you will be dealing with the BDD framework, you can generate some sort of JSON report, XML report, HTML report as well. You can deal with the extend report as well. So user can easily identify how many test cases passed, how many failed, and how many skipped. So why it is skipped is important, I will cover it. Sometimes suppose say you have something dependency, right? So that test case will not be passed or failed. Sometimes test case I need to skip it because the parent test case got failed. So that is the way you can skip some of the testing, right? You don't want to execute those test cases, you can skip them. In case user need to execute the failed test case separately, it is also possible to execute. So sometimes say you have 100 test cases and you have 10 test cases fail. Why that fail? Because of some say internal synchronization issue, element locator identifier issue or other issue, right? Timeout issue, other stuff. That is not the real time failure. But in case next time if you want to run, then all 100 test cases will be running in normal way. But I don't want to run the past test case whatever already executed because it will simply waste my time. And again from the past couple of test cases may fail because of the other synchronization issue or other stuff. So instead of that, right, using TestNG you can only focus on the failed test case and you can run them multiple times, and definitely whatever internal problem was there you can solve it. After that any kind of system deviation is there, you can right analyze the kind of result, and then you can log as the defect in any of the defect management tool, ALM, Jira or Azure, etc. So the testing framework can be easily integrated with different tools like Maven, Jenkins, etc. TestNG will generate the report in a proper format which include the number of test cases run, number of test cases passed, failed, skipped, etc. Multiple test cases can be grouped more easily by converting them into testng.xml file. So what is the grouping mechanism in TestNG? Suppose say you have 100 test cases, but in the general real time, 100 test cases will be not be running every time. Why? Because 100 test cases can be categorized into like smoke, functional, integration, end to end, or regression category. Sometimes you need to run only the end to end. Sometimes you need to run on the regression. Sometimes you need to run on the smoke only because some minor thing is there, so that you need to run on the smoke. So what you can do, you can group the test cases, every test cases into multiple group, and based on the group, right, you can just add the group name in the testng.xml file. Down the line you can learn what is testng.xml file. through which, right, you can drive your testing with the help of TestNG framework. So that, right, in case you are trying to run on the smoke suit, so it will only pick up those, filter those test cases first wherever the smoke group tag is available, and then instead of 100 test cases, in case 5 test cases is pertaining to that group, right, those test cases will be executed, and it will be very very fast forward, in which user can also make priority which test case should be executed first, also like that. So I'll cover that, what is the priority signifies in TestNG framework. Same test case can be executed multiple times without any loop by just using keyword called invocationCount. In the real time, sometime our testing automated framework will be used for creating multiple test data. In case you are already working for, say, insurance project, you already know, right, you need to create some policy, so you need to create some claims, etc. So what you need to do after that, you can do the relevant transaction. So using different variation of the data, you can create n number of test data, so that same test case you can repeat it n number of time. So there is no loop you need to require. Simply on that particular test case, if you give invocation count equal to 10, that test case will be repeated by 10 times, and it will generate 10 data. That is very easiest way. Using TestNG, user can execute multiple test cases on multiple browser, like you can do in the Firefox, Safari, Chrome, etc. There are multiple annotations used in the testing which are very easy to understand in the TestNG framework, like before method, before test, after method, after class, before class. All these annotations will be there in the TestNG. TestNG simplifies the way tests are coded. There is no more need of static main method in our test. The sequence of actions is regulated by easy to understand annotation that do not require method to be static. So whenever you are dealing with the TestNG framework, or you are creating some TestNG class, you no need to use the public static void main method at all. So here your testing will be driven by the @test annotation. So you could simply easily understand how, without any kind of public static void method, you can drive your testing, which is really required whenever you are creating any Java class. So in TestNG class, there is no requirement of the public static void main method at all. Uncaught exceptions are automatically handled by TestNG without terminating the test prematurely. These exceptions are reported as failed test step in the report. Whenever some default report will be generated by TestNG, and that report you can get to know how many test cases fast, fail, or skip. What different types of assertion also available in TestNG? TestNG has an assert class which provides multiple methods supporting different type of assertion, like checking equality of expected and actual result, asserting a condition as true or false, asserting if value is null. So in any of the testing, whatever testing you are doing, functional, right, non-functional, API, automation, right, you would require the some validation point, because your testing is not pertaining to, right, for end-to-end flow, one page to another page. It's not like that. It's definitely you need to navigate from one page to another, one flow to another flow, but at the same time, simultaneously, you need to add some assertion point where you can validate that expected and actual result in matching or not. In case it is not matching, that will be treated as a failed state step. That is the way you can identify the defect also. So TestNG will support two types of assertion, soft and hard assertion. So I will cover it. Run test cases in parallel, already told. There will be TestNG.xml file through which you can run the test by suite name, by classes, by method level as well. And you can do it, right, in different browser like Safari, Mozilla, right, Firefox, Chrome, etc. Make tests dependent on one another. So that is one of the important attribute of TestNG. Why you need to make a test case dependent on the other? Suppose, say, I'm giving a simple example. You want to automate an e-commerce site. So you will be logging into the site, and once your credential is valid, then you will be logging in. After that, you need to search the product. Once the product is searched, right, with the proper size, you will be adding the product to the cart. Then you are making the payment with different variety of the payment method. After that, your booking will be successful. Sometimes you can return the product. But how you can make the payment until your login is successful or your product is available? Then, like that, you can add as a dependency, right? So that in case your login is not successful somehow, or maybe the product is not available, there is no point of executing the relevant part, so that your that particular test case can be skipped here. Instead of wasting my time, I have simply skipped because my dependent method got failed. So that is one of the important attribute TestNG is having. Prioritizing the test. In TestNG, user can assign numeric priority value to the test, right? So suppose say in case you are having 10 test cases, so automatically by default test cases will be executed based on the method name and alphabetically ascending order. But alphabetically ascending order sometimes is not correct. Suppose say your logout, say it's alphabetical order lower order, and it will be executed, but login is not happening, your product search is not happening, payment is not happening, then automatically all your thing will fail. So that what you can do, you can give some priority, right, lower to higher, like login is the highest, lower priority, it will be executed fast, then searching the product, then the adding the product to the cart, then making the payment, and then log out. That is the way you can do the sequential execution with the help of the priority attribute using TestNG. Grouping of test cases I already mentioned, right? You can group the test cases with different testing type, right? Different kind of application name, and so that based on the functionality changes, you can execute those test cases based on the testing type or based on the relevant application wherever impact will be happening. Data driven testing and parameterization and reporting, this is three another important aspect. So reporting part already told, right? There will be a HTML report generated by TestNG by default, from where you can get to know how many number of test cases executed, what is the time taken, right, how many test cases passed, failed, skipped, etc. It will give you the holistic report. There are two other important features called data driven testing and parameterization. Sometimes people get confused with these two terms. Okay, they looks pretty much similar, but not like that. So data driven testing, what is that data driven testing? So data driven testing means using different variety of the data, single test case you can run n number of time, that is called data driven testing. So you are varying the data, but your test case will still remain the same. Primarily for the data acquisition part, you can do the data driven testing, where, right, same test case will be executed with n number of variety of the data, that is called data driven testing. And what is parameterization? Parameterization is some sort of different story of the, from data driven testing, where you will be having multiple test cases with same parameter, multiple test case with the same parameter, and based on the parameter value, right, same parameter is pertaining to the multiples method, and that multiple method will be executed. That is the story of the parameterization. So data driven testing, same test case you are executing with varying the different type of input data, whereas parameterization means using same data, test data, you are trying to execute multiple test cases. So that is the two concept. I'll cover how to implement all this stuff maybe next session. Then there are two things, as TestNG came from JUnit. So JUnit came before TestNG. JUnit primarily used by the development team, but nowadays in case you are dealing with the BDD framework, you can still use JUnit. So JUnit also now can be used by the testing team also. So JUnit came before TestNG, right? And JUnit was having some less feature, but TestNG is now having some enhanced feature. So compared to JUnit annotation, TestNGs are easy to understand. TestNG allows user to the grouping the test cases easily, which is not possible in JUnit. JUnit is also having some kind of all this stuff like before shoot, after shoot, all this stuff. But JUnit is having less attribute. So TestNG is having more like before and after shoot, before and after test, before and after group, which was not available in JUnit. TestNG does not need to extend any class. Automatically in the same class, right, you can, right, execute your test cases. In TestNG, it is possible to run Selenium WebDriver test case in parallel easily. Based on the group, TestNG allows user to execute test case, but grouping concept is not available in JUnit. TestNG allows user to determine the dependent test cases, mean dependency, which is not possible in JUnit. So that are the couple of advantages TestNG is having over JUnit. So how you can install TestNG files in the Eclipse? So this is only one time activity. So it will be added to your Eclipse. After that, you can create n number of project and you can simply associate TestNG to your project. So what we need to do? So I'll be going to the Eclipse first. Here there is an option called help. That step is already there provided in the PPT. You need to go to Eclipse Marketplace, and here in the search button you can search with TestNG. So it's already installed in my Eclipse, so I no need to install it. But in case you do not install it, so here just search with TestNG simply ng, and here there's a go button. Just click on that. Automatically you could see TestNG for Eclipse option will be coming. Simply you need to select install and click on finish, and after that you need to restart your Eclipse. So automatically TestNG will be added. Here it is installed, that is the reason it is not showing. Otherwise it will show that install button, and you can simply install, finish it, and click on restart Eclipse. After that you can create a project, and you can also use any existing project. So that project you already created. So now I associate TestNG to my existing project. How can I do it? Right click it, go to the properties, go to the Java build path, and here instead of add external jars, but TestNG is a library. TestNG or JUnit is a library, so you need to click on the add library, and here you could see TestNG or JUnit, whatever additional library you already added to your Eclipse, that will be shown here. And now you can select TestNG simply and click on next and click on finish. That is simple state and steps, and apply and close. So automatically now TestNG will be added to your project. Now you can able to see the TestNG added as a reference, as a library to your project. So this is only one time activity. So TestNG you need to add to your Eclipse level, and after that whatever project you are creating you need to add TestNG. So that is the second step. Now third step is that you need to create a TestNG class instead of Java class. So you can create any package or existing package also. Right click here. If you click new, and there is a class that will be created Java class. But I want to create TestNG class. So first you need to associate TestNG library to your project. Then you need to click on other here. Instead of class, you will be clicking on the other here. And here you can search with TestNG. You could see TestNG class option is visible under the TestNG folder. You can select it and you can click on next, and here you can give any class name. So that will be added to your project, right? Selenium September 2023 batch. Assertions is the folder. Training is my package name, and I can create a class. Suppose say test or maybe session 8, right? Because this is the TestNG session 8, so I can create a class for TestNG session 8. And click on finish simply. So now TestNG class is created. So what differences you could able to see? There is no public static void main method at all. Here @test annotation is being displayed. So that means it will be considered as a test cases, and public void, and by default app method is there. You can change the method name called test. So method should be always unique. Now you can simply give SOISO and say output for test ng test method. That's thing you can do it. Now what you can do, you can right click again and you can try to run it, right? Now you could see there is no Java application option is there. If you want to run normal class, you could able to see the option is coming as called Java application, because those are Java class. But now your class you have created called TestNG, so option is coming called TestNG test. So that is the difference between the Java class and TestNG class. Now if you running it TestNG test, you could able to see some differences, right? Here you could see output is coming and is showing as passed. What passed? That is the method got passed. That is the annotation. Means number of @test mean it will be considered as the test cases. And now you could see some report here, right? Default test got run. Run 1, failure 0, skip 0. And here if you go down again, you could able to see how many run, how many pass, how many skipped and fail. And now there is another tab available here, right? Called result of running class TestNG season 8. That is the class run. If you click here, simply you could able to see under the all test section, that is the suit label, that is the test label. So by default it will be default suit, default test. So later point of time you can change it. I will show you how you can change the suit and test name. And this is called package name dot class name. What is my package? Training is my package. What is my class name? TestNG season 8 is the class name. And this is the method got executed. If you go to the fails test, in case some test case is getting failed, you can get the desired details. Otherwise, if you go to the summary, you could able to see which run, default test run, how many time it to taken, what is the class, how many class executed, how many method executed. That is the additional thing TestNG will give, which is not available in the normal Java class. Apart from that, TestNG will give you basic report, right? Default report. Now, if you just after running it, if you right click the project and if you simply click on refresh, now you could see there is a folder got created called test-output. That folder automatically every running TestNG class it will be generated. And now if you try to expand it, right, there are a lot of thing will be generated HTML format also. If you select the emailable report report.html format, right click here, and if you try to open with some web browser, you could able to see it will generate some sort of default report from the TestNG. Here you could see what got run, default test got run, how many test case passed, what failed, what retried, how many total time spent, and what is the output, right? Test pass, green sign. In case it's failing, it will be red sign like that. I'll show you even it's fail also. So that is the way you can start using TestNG. So those part are already added here. Okay, how to create all this stuff. Now I'll cover this part and then I will go for any questions. So there are a lot of annotations available. I already covered in the starting of the session. So what is annotations? An annotation is a tag or metadata which provide additional information about the class, interface or method in TestNG. Annotations are used to keep the structure of the test class. This annotation invoke the methods according to the invocation time. So there are a lot of annotations available. At the rate test, before class, before group, after group, before method, before test, after test, before shoot, after shoot, like that. So what is at the rate test? It will annotation marks as a method as a test method. Before class, after class will be executed before every class, after every class. Similarly, group and before group, after group will be executed before or after every group. Before method, after every method. Before test, after, before or after every test. Wherever test at the rate test annotation is there. Before shoot, after shoot will be executed before and after every shoot. Now I'll try to cover couple of stuff. But apart from at the rate test annotation, remaining are the supporting annotation to your test at the rate test. But those will not be considered as test cases. Those are the supporting annotation to support your at the rate test execution. Okay, so what I will do, I will simply try to create at the rate before say test. Okay, and here I will create similar way public void say before test. That is the method. Now I will try to call give some body here. Output for TestNG before test method. Now you could see some error message is coming. So this is the annotation I need to import it. Right, before test I need to import it from the org.testng.annotation. Similarly, I can create after test. So you could see some errors is coming because your method will be always unique. So you can change it after test. Here you can change it after test. And you need to import it after test. Similar way you can create, right, before method. Okay, so before test, after test done, I will create before method. Okay, then I can create, say, before shoot, like that. So this is the supporting annotation. Now I need to import all this stuff annotation from the TestNG. Now if you try to run it, but this still will be considered only one test cases, right? But if you want to create one more test case, you need to create at the rate test again. So you can give something called test1 here, and you can give something called test1 method. So these are two test cases now, but the remaining will be supported. So what is the sequence? I will let you know. Now if you try to run it, so you could see there will be two test cases executed. But what is the output coming? So first shoot will be executed, right? You could see shoot is coming before shoot, definitely. This part executed. Then your test will be coming before test method. After that you could see, sorry, this is the one is getting executed. First your shoot, then your test, then your method, and after that your test will be executed, and then again it will be your test, right, method, and then test, again test cases, and at the last your executed will be shoot. So that is the sequence. Now you could see test 1 and test method got executed, and now it will give you the result total. And if you go here, right, you could able to see here all test cases, how many test cases got run under the same packages, test and test 1 got run. There is no fail summary because nothing is failed. Now you could see one class got run and two method got run. So that is the way you can use those annotation. What is the sequence? First before shoot will be run, then before test, before class in case you using, before group, before method, then your at the rate test. Then after method, after group, after class, after test, and after shoot. So that will be the sequence of your execution. But at the rate test means that will be considered as a test cases and will be supported by different other attribute, but remaining other attribute will be supporting to your test cases, but those will not be treated as a individual level test cases. I will try to implement it using the Selenium part also down the line. So I will take a pause, guys. Any questions as of now? Yeah, so before shoot fast, but it will be shoot level, means only shoot level. So definitely we'll be creating only one shoot will be only executed one time. Before test it will be test level also, so it will be also maybe one time in case you are creating one test. Before class, in case you are having one class, that will be executed only one time, but in case you are having multiple class, that will be executed multiple time. Before group, in case you are having multiple group, and before method, in case you are having multiple method, that will be executed multiple time, otherwise only one time. Then your test case will be executed, then after that, after all this stuff will be executed. Okay, so shoot will be executed last. That is the sequence: shoot, test, group, class, group, method, and after that, after method, group, class, shoot, test, and shoot. Is it clear or any doubt still? Okay. Okay. Then I'll go to the next test case. Before going to the next test cases, let's try to create something. Let's comment it out. So in the real time, what we used to do, okay. So before method it will be executed before method, right? In case I want to automate real time. So what I will be doing, okay. So I will be trying to set up this part, the before method. Okay. First I will set up the properties part, right? This part. So all this part I will set it only one time. You could see that is done. And here I can create something called global driver, right? So what I will be doing, I will be creating something called global driver, so that that driver I can call it anytime. Global driver, WebDriver driver, that is declaring globally, means class level, right? So that it will not be having any problem. Otherwise, in case you are creating within the method, that you cannot call it other method, right? And here I want to quit it. So driver dot quit every time I want to close the page, and I can change it also. So instead of before method, I can change it. You can change it called setup, right? I am setting up the properties, and I am tear down. That is called method called tear down. In the real time, we need to do it. So I want to quit the driver every time. Okay. So this is my setup method, where I am setting the driver properties, launching the Chrome driver, right? Maximizing it, deleting all the cookies, and giving some timeout, maybe 30 seconds. Okay, that is part you already learned, and I am quitting the driver every time. Now, whatever test cases we have created, let's copy it. Let's open some notepad and paste it. Okay, and let's remove these two parts. Now I will try to create a test cases here. Say I want to launch the Facebook page. Okay, so that will be my test cases. So what I want to launch, driver dot get. So Facebook URL I can give it. Okay, this will be my one test cases. So how simply you can able to see, right? Create a test cases, and then I can get the title. Say you can print out the title, SYSO, and driver dot get title, right? That is my one test case. Okay, Facebook homepage. Similar way, you can create one more test cases for Google homepage. Say instead of Google, right? I have created two test cases, but you could see how less script is right available step, because I have defined everything in this two method, which is supporting method. After before method report test, you can give it, right, like that. Now if you run it, so this will be considered two test case, but which one will be running fast? Can you tell me anyone? This is Facebook and this is Google. Which will be executed fast? Yeah, because Facebook is alphabetically, F is alphabetically lower order, right? Because it will be drive by your the method name. You can go on mute, and G will be coming after that. So that is the way it will be executed fast. Now if you try to run it, so what will happen in the real time? It will try to launch the Chrome browser, maximizing it, deleting all the cookies, launch the. You could see Facebook again the browser got closed because in the tier done method I have written the diver.quit every time, so it got closed and two test case got passed. And you could see this is the title for the Facebook page executed fast, and this is the title for the Google page. So this is the execution fast. Now you could see here, right, Facebook and Google. So that is the sequence also. Now if you go to the summary, one class executed, two method got passed. Now say I want to execute something called another thing. I want to do it. Say I am giving a something intentionally, Facebook say login page. Okay, so here I want to identify some field, driver dot find element by, so I will go to the Facebook page and identify this one, press F12 button. That is the way in the real time you will be also doing that way. F12, slowly I will going to the framework part and you will be able to create something. Suppose the name equal to email, I can identify it something by dot name email and then send keys, right. I can something called, right, you can create very modular, so that you can call that particular method again and again in number of time. Okay, so that is done. And again you can create Facebook login page, say email, Facebook login page email. Okay, again I can create something method called for a again Facebook login page password, like that. Okay, so it will be pass, and I can get something called pass, like that. Okay, and I can give something, otherwise it might take something. Okay, wrong thing. And I can try to click on the sign in button. So login. So go to the login. So what is that, name equal to login, so it will be click operation. What is that, name, right, name equal to login, so it will be dot click. Okay, now let's try to run it and let's see what is happening. So what will happen, it will fail the test case. Why? Right, you could see your browser is also not getting close. And here if you go here, all my test case is correct, but it will fail actually. It will take the time, right, because 30-second wait time I have given, that is the reason you will wait for 30 seconds and that will fail. So that is the beauty of the implicit time, right, in case you are giving, so that it will check for that one maximum time, after that it will only fail it. Okay, it is trying to open something new. It will try to execute that one. Okay, and it will fail couple of stuff. So it will taking time because we have given implicit time called 30 seconds. Okay, because here failure is happening, and but it will still wait for maximum timeout. In case it is getting past, that will not wait. But until getting past, so it will wait for that maximum timeout. That is the concept of implicit timeout I already told in the last session. So it will go for that way. Yeah, couple of things is getting passed because that is will be working fine, other stuff will not be passed. Here you could see 3 failure and 2 pass. because it is trying to execute based on the alphabetical order. So A part will be executed first, this A part, right? And these three will be executed first. But these three is not working. Why? Because for the first test cases, Facebook page is not open. Then how it will identify the name and password and login page at all? Right? So that is the reason three test case got failure. You could see here error message will be there because unable to identify the method, right? And if you go here, you could able to see one executed pass, and now you could see the failure count. Which test case got failed here? What is the total time taken, right? And you could see how many pass and fail, all this stuff. Okay, so here it is giving some result 2300. Okay, 2 pass, 3 fail, 1 0 skip. And here you could able to see the result, failure exception, right? If you copy it, copy a TestNG trace, you can also get it, right? What is the failure reason at the method level? Okay, that is the way you can debug your code. Okay, why it is not able to identify? So why? Because it is taking the alphabetical order. So now if you are able to see the report, right? Let's go here and refresh it. Right, so whatever default report is generated, you could able to see now that failure part also with the proper reason. Open with web browser. Now you could see default test 2 pass, 3 fail. These are the 3 test case fail. What is the reason also it will be listed out, and this is the pass green one, and this is the fail package name dot the class name, right? This is the method name, and you could able to see the desired failure reason for each and every method. That is the way testing is giving more holistic picture, right? By default. So why it is failing? Because it is taking the uh, alphabetical order, right? It is not executing at all. Okay, so what we can do, two things, we can sometime enable or disable a test cases. So by default, in case you are not giving means all test cases will be executed. But say suppose somehow I did not given the kind of ordering part, right? But I want to disable couple of stuff. So that what I need to do here, I need to mention something called, I will first change the timeout to 5 seconds. Otherwise taking too much time. Okay. So I can disable some test cases so that at least failure will be covered. So enabled equal to false. That means, sorry, enable equal to true. You need to if you want to disable a test case from the execution, you don't need to remove it or comment it out. Simply you need to make it enable equal to true. So that test case will be there, but it will not be considered for the execution. That is the way you can disable something for execution. Okay, method will not, sorry, enable equal to false. You can give enable equal to 2, or if you click it blank also, it will still keep you enable equal to 2 only. So here I can give it enable equal to false. So that means that particular test case will be skip from execution. In case you are not giving anything on the test at the test level, so by default it will take enable equal to 2, means it is ready for the execution. Enable equal to false means we are simply forcing it from stopping it from the execution. Okay, so TestNG provide an attribute for enabling or disabling our test. There are many times when user don't want to run any particular test case, and it is not better way to remove the whole test method from the class and then add it again. User want to run the add the test again. So what we can do? You can make it enabled equal to false, so that it will not run. It will simply skip or ignore the method. In case you are not giving anything, by default it will take enable equal to true. In case you are giving enable equal to, it will same also. So now if you want to run it, there are 5 test cases, but it will be till consider only 4 test cases. Now 2 will be fail and 2 will be pass, because still it is alphabetical order, it will try to execute. Now it will wait for 5 seconds only, because we have given the wait implicit timeout called 5 seconds. You could see execution happening in 5 seconds. So that is the way you can change the behavior of your execution. So it will be driven by you, right? You are the person who can do all the configuration for all the run. Now you could see there was 5, but why it is 4? Because that particular thing I have disabled password, right? So it will not be there. right? You could see the password is not there. Email and login got failed. The password part is not coming here because we have make it disable. So what is the best way, right, to uh, avoid the failing part? So what you can do something called priority, so that your sequential execution you can stop it. Sorry, I mean you can do the sequential execution, and any kind of failure you can stop it. In any automation project, most times testers are required to configure test suite to run test method in a specific order or sequence or manner, or user give much precedence to certain test method over other method. About other TestNG allow user to handle scenario like this by providing a priority attribute within that at the test annotation. By setting the value of this priority attribute, user can maintain order the test method as per their need. So priority means it can take only numeric value. It can be take negative as well. It does not matter that you have to give 0, 1, 2, 3. It is not like that. You can give minus 10, minus 5, then plus 5, plus 10. That is the way. Why we used to give some gap? Because sometime in case you are adding more test case in between, right, you no need to change the other. That is the reason in real time also you can give some gap, like 3, 4 or 5 gap. So what I will do, what is my objective? That test case I need to execute first. Either I can give something called minus say 20, so it will be executed first here, and then here I can give it. Next one will be like uh, you can give it negative 10 also, and in case you are not giving anything, so it will be taking priority called 0 by default, right? I'm not giving anything, so it will be taking as a priority called 0, and here I can give it plus 10, and here I can give it 20. So that is the way in the real time you also go with that. You need to give some gap. So you did not mention anything means it will be 0 priority. So definitely minus 20, then minus 10, then 0, then plus 10, and 20 will be executing. Now you could able to see that all your 5 tasks will be executed, and right, it will be working fine. It will open the Facebook page. Now second task is also getting failed because it is not able to, because Facebook page also got closed. That is the reason it is not working. So it will still fail, but if you just remove that divert.close part, right, it will be working fine then. Just kind of try to give the example here. It will be still fail, but now let's try to remove that part divert.quit part, comment it out. Now let's try to run it. Okay, every time it is trying to the page. So what you can do, right, this part you can just try to add in a single step as well, because this is considered a single test case. Or you can quit the browser, there not be a problem here. Okay, you can quit it, and you can, because that may be opening a page a single test case, and then again opening a page, right? After that you want to add the value, that will be maybe other cases, right? And then here after opening the page, giving the password might be another cases, and then right, that may be another cases, and then this will be another cases. So that is the way you can do it. Or say for the login part, what you can do, you can just simply add these two line, also password you can give it. So that is the way you can do it. Now if you are trying to execute it, so that will be considered as a test cases. It will not be failure also. One test case gone, second test case gone, third test case also. It will be going very fast, automated. And fourth test case you will try to click on the login button as well, right? And fourth test case you will try to open that page, Google page. So that is the way you could see now 5 of 5 is passed. So that is the way you can do the priority. So it will be always a negative value including 0. So what, sometime in case you are giving same priority to the two test cases, then what will happen? So again, in case for those test cases, it will go on the alphabetical order again. In case for two test cases you did not give any priority, means it will take again default priority called 0. So, and you cannot change it to any numeric other value, right? Decimal also, it will throw the error, or alphabetical value you cannot throw the error. And this priority, if you change it to the lower p also, it will throw the error, because exactly you need to give priority, all will be lowercase. So that is the way you need to go with the priority. The next part I will cover the assertion, then I will go for any questions. Okay. So what is assertion? Assertions, suppose I already mentioned, right? Your objective is not to only execute the test cases, but you need to pass or fail the test cases. But how you can validate it? So in testing there is an assertion available, so with which, right, you can do the add the validation point, and your test case is passed or fail, you can easily get to know based on the thing. So assertion in TestNG are used to assert whether the test fail or not in TestNG framework and in automation framework also. Test case is considered to be passed only if the all statement in test case execute successfully, and in case any exception is thrown or expected result do not match with actual result, then the test case considered to be failed. Assertions are used to verify the statement and test cases in TestNG to decide whether test case is pass or fail. There are two types of assertion: hard assertion and soft assertion. So what is hard assertion? The problem is that it will definitely assert it. It will certify the validation of your step. But the problem is that as and when your hard assertion is being triggered and in case it failure, so your execution will stop immediately there and remaining line of code will not be executed. That is the problem of the hard assertion. So to avoid that, you can use soft assertion, so that your error might be there, your particular validation point might be failure, but that will not stop execution for the remaining line of code. Remaining line of code still will be executed and it will give you the result. In case multiple things might be coming. So there are a lot of methods available, right, in the asserts class also. So let's deal with the assertion. So I'll create one more class. I'll give some different names, session 8 TestNG. Okay. Not this class, I'll create a TestNG class. And this part I will copy it. I will just create this. Okay. So say this particular method I want to fail it. So say output for TestNG test method before assertion. And I can create one more line here, output called after assertion. And now I did not give any assertion, so I can simply run it, so both my test case will be passed. You could see both are passed. Now I will try to give some assertion, hard assertion. There is a assert class available, assert dot assert. You could see lot of method is coming within the assert class. So I will try to simply give something called integer, so that it will fail. Suppose say 20 and I expectation is 30. Like, so definitely is failing, right? It will be failure step. Okay. Now what will happen? This test case will be failed. But what problem will happen? This line will be executed and this line failure will be done. So remaining line will not be executed. That's the problem. right? Here you could see before running it, so all the three line got executed, right? These two line got executed and other test case also got executed. Now, right, for the test cases wherever assertion is getting failed, remaining line of code will not be executed. You could see here assertion came, that before part got executed, and as soon as assertion came, that part is not getting executed. What is the assertion failure reason is coming, right? It was expecting 30 but coming 20. So that is the assertion failure reason. Okay, if you go down the line, you could able to see all the debugging option, right? Why exact failure, which line number it is getting failed, all this stuff. Then you can get to know which class it is getting failed. Okay, so you could see those executed past test 1 and uh, uh, test got failed, and this is the reason of failure. Now if you go here, right, you could see this got fast. What is the reason? It's failure, but it should get 30 but expect found 20. And if you go to that other one, failed one, right, similar, it's get failed summary, one passed, one class executed, two method. So that is the drawback of hard assertion. So what we can do to avoid this part, so the remaining line I also want to execute, so I can go with the soft assertion. So what we can do, there is an to deal with the disadvantage of hard assertion, customized error handler provided by TestNG is called soft assertion. Soft assertion allows user to have multiple assertion within a test method. Even when an assertion fails, the test method continues with the remaining test execution. The result of all the assertion can be collated at the end by using softassert.assert all method at the method level. Okay, so what we can do, we'll be creating a soft assert method object for soft assert class. Soft assert equal to new soft assert. Okay. Yes. Yeah, yeah. Tell me. Yes, assertion is right. Suppose say here, suppose say you already know, right? Suppose say where I am given. So suppose say you want to get the current URL, right? Okay. Suppose you want to get something, right? You want to get the current URL. So if you run it here, say in the real time, right? In the real time. So suppose if you run it here, you'll be getting some current URL. But you need to match whether the current URL is expecting or not, right? So what you can do, I am just adding it. Actual, right? Every time you need to whether it's a radio button or not, whether it's a whatever field you are valuing, that field is being populated or not, right? Whether it's a displayed, enabled, all this stuff, right? You can definitely do it. So what I can do, simply whatever URL is coming, right, I will just simply copy it. So this is the get current URL. What is the output here? Yeah, this is the current URL for this one. So what I will do it, I will store in some string, say I will store in some string expected URL. Okay, so this is my expectation. Okay, and what is coming, I can store in some string URL again, say actual URL. URL will be driver dot get current URL. That is my actual, right? Now what I will do, I will be using assert dot assert equal, and I will be taking its string, so I will try to compare the string. Right, string method will be there to comparing. Yes, string. First one will be actual, second will be expected. So what is the actual URL and expected URL? Now it will be matching, right? Because that will be matching, so it will pass the test case. Now if you're running it, it will simply pass it. All the test cases will be passed. So that is the way every step, whether it's displayed, enabled, all this stuff you can do it, right? You can store in some boolean value, right? Divert dot is displayed. So in case it's displayed, it will be giving you true, and then you can match with true or false, right? Now you could see pass, but now if you change it to 1, say, so what will happen? It will fail. What's failure reason? You can get to know. That is the way in the real time using test and assertion only you will be adding all the validation point. Whether the field is happening. Suppose in case you are clicking a particular link and it's opening a new URL. So you can what you do you know the URL actually, but you can get the URL from the current URL. Right? Is displayed, is enabled, is check all this stuff. Right? All these method using Selenium method, and suppose say whatever value you are entering, right, that value again you can get attribute method, and then you can check it that whatever value I have entered that is correctly entered or not. You could say now one failure. What is the failure reason? You could see expected was Facebook com 1, but actually is found Facebook. So that is the way you can in the real time you can do the assertion. But here I am just giving a simple example to so that you can understand. Okay. So as normal assertion is similar way, and then to deal with that, so that in case you are doing any hard assertion, so your remaining line of code will be not be executed. So here I would be using soft assertion. So first I will be creating an object here, and after that with that object I will be calling that other method assert equal, right? Assert equals assert two other thing is there also, right? Say instead of thing other thing I want to check called double, right? Okay, so say I want to check called double, say 9 point something here, and here 10 point something. So what will happen? It will fail, right? But still your test case will not be fail. If you run it, still your test case will not be fail. Why? Though it is failure, right? Till it is not failed. Can anyone let me know? It is mentioned in the PPT, and I also told you. For the soft assertion, still it is not failed, right? But this is differency. So what need to do for the soft assertion at the end? You need to call assert all method. Then only assertion will be completed. Only for soft assertion. So now what I will do at the end, I will be using sa dot assert all method. Now it will be fail. That particular line will be fail, but it will not stop the execution. The remaining line also will be executed. So that is the beauty of the soft assertion. So in case you are having 1000 line of code, and in case your failure is happening at the 10th line, so your execution will not stop at the 10th line. It will fail only that particular step, and error will be coming, and it will still execute all 1000 remaining line of code. And in case 10 failure is there, 10 failure will be, you can get it. So that is the beauty of the soft assertion. So in general real time we will be not be using the, okay, here you have given assert not equal, right? So that is the reason not failing also. So you need to use assert equals. Not equals means definitely it is not equal, so it will not be fail anyway. Now you cannot fail here, right? But you still this line and this line will be executed. So you could able to see the output, right? Before assertion, after assertion. Here what is the assertion failure? This is the assertion failure. So that is the way in the real time you should always use the soft assertion. In case just for the debugging purpose and other purposes, you can definitely use the hard assertion. But otherwise, better to use the soft assertion always. Okay, I will take a pause, guys. Sorry. Yeah. Any questions? Anyone? So are you able to understand, right, how slowly we are able to, right, create some better thing? Okay. Means with the help of the framework. So we are not doing anything manual intervention. So with the framework, its TestNG itself is giving a lot of things which are already inbuilt in the TestNG, right? Yeah, tell me. So you have to write so many line of code, right? But here it is a inbuilt one. So that is the reason initially I did not cover. You told you to with the test, I mean that one if and else. But here you could see how easily you can do, right, in the real time. Yes. So in case you need no need to use the for loop and other stuff, right? If else part. So with the help of the TestNG features annotation, you can go with that way. You can leverage the TestNG annotations. Okay. So the couple of stuff I will be going here now. I'll be creating one more test here. Say test 2 and test 2 method. Okay. So here dependency part I was taking, right, so that you can make one something called dependent. Suppose your login is not successful, then there is no point of, right, defending the other part, right. There is no point of going to the searching the product or booking the and all this stuff. So we can make something called dependent. Okay, so that what happen in case your test case is dependent test case is getting passed, then there will be no impact, but in case it is a fail, then there will be impact, right. So here it's I can give automatically it will be test 1 and test 2 will be executed. So here I want to make something called dependency. So in case you are not able to find that one, you can make something called depends. Type here, and if you press Ctrl and space bar, depend. Yeah, 1 second. Test 2. Okay. First bracket here, I need to give depends on method. Okay, not here. I need to give it the test level. Yes. Okay, you could see depends on method, depends on all this stuff is coming. And here you need to use double bracket. Okay, now which method I want to make a dependent test? Double quote test, you can make it. And with double quote. In case you want to give multiple, suppose say in the payment part, right, you want to make sure first that your login is successful, then you can have another method for the searching the product, then you can give it one, adding the product to the cart. In case nothing is all are happening, then only your payment will happen, otherwise payment will not be executed. Okay, so that is the way I make it dependent. So now what will happen in case dependent test case is fail, that test case will not be executed, it will be skipped simply. Okay, now let's try to run it. That will be skipped, means it will not waste the time, it will be skipped. Here you could see here 3 executed, 1 passed, 1 failed, 1 skip. Okay, failure part you already know what is the reason, because that is not matching. But skipped also you could able to see the reason. Skipped also you could see that test case got skipped. What is the reason? Because depends on was not successful, that is the reason it got skipped. But in case your dependent test case got passed, okay, then your whatever dependency it was there, it will be still executed. Okay, instead of keep, because your login is passed, so there is no point of stopping the payment. Your login passed, your product is available, adding the product is also successful, then you can make the payment. So that is the reason now all test case got passed, though it is dependent, but your that is also passed, that is the reason it got passed. So that is the way you can make something called dependent. So dependence is a feature in TestNG which allows the test method to depend on a single or a group of test method. This will help in executing a set of tests to be executed before a test method. Method dependency only works if the depends on method is a part of the same class or any of the inherited base class. So depends on method attribute on test method specifies all the test method like test 1, test 2, test like that. This test method depends on. It means test 1 will start execution only after all the tests it depends on execute successfully. If any of the tests specified via depends on method attribute fail, then the whatever was right dependent, that will be skipped simply instead of passing or failing. Then still, in case your dependent method is got fail, but still in case you want to execute it, suppose sometime, right, your other method is having some particular step called validating only the URL. So maybe just execution happened, but maybe your some field was not available, but your URL was correct, right? Or maybe you want to quit the browser, whatever is there. So you always want to execute that one. So you can make it always run equal to 2 here. So here I will be using call comma always run equal to true. So it does not matter in case you are using always run equal to, it does not matter whether it's a pass or fail. Is pass means automatically it will be executed, but in case you are making it always run equal to 2, in case your dependent method test is failed, still it will be executed. Now it's fail it. Okay, now let's fail it. So still you could see now it will be executed. Why? Because always run attribute I have given as yes. You could see now it's only one failure. There is no skipped because that is still executed. Why? Always run equal to yes. True. So that is the way you can deal with the depends on method and always run attribute using TestNG. Then there is a option called invocation count. I already mentioned, right, that sometime you want to create data, multiple data. Okay. So what you can do in case you want to create it, one test case you want to run it for 10 times, then what you can do, invocation count equal to 5. So that will be executed. Same test case will be repeated and executed for 5 times. Okay, now let's try to run it. So there is 3 test cases, but your count will be coming as 7 because one test case will run for 5 times. That is the importance of invocation count, right? TestNG attribute that defines number of time test method should be invoked or executed before executing any other test method. If invocation count equal to 4, then test method will be executed 4. Okay, so that is the beauty of the invocation count. So you could see simply I don't use to any loop or iterate anything. Simply I'll be using that keyword invocation count equal to 5 and it will be executed 5 times. Now say in case there is some assertion is there and is getting failed, then what will happen? Can anyone tell me? Then what will happen for this particular test method? I have given invocation count equal to 5. So what will happen? Whether it will be iterated for 5 times or not, and what will be the output? Yes, it will be iterated for 5 times, but every time it will be failed. You could say every time it will be failed because same reason only. But in the real time, what I was to do, you will be doing. Suppose I want to create some test data for 10 times, 20 times. But in case somehow one iteration get failed because some login credentials and other stuff is maybe mismatched, right? Instead of A, I have given the value B, and at the end, right, it is not creating the data properly. So in case one test case is getting failed, so 10 times it will be fail only. So it will be just taking the time. Maybe one iteration might take 5 minutes time, 6 minutes time, sometimes for a big flow. So 10 times, 20 times means I will simply waste my 2-hour time. And but it will be failure only and those data will not be created successfully. So in case I don't want to happen this, so what is my kind of way, right, to do that? So there is another option called, right, skipFailedInvocation. So that in case it is a fail, right, then only it will fail only one part, and then remaining part will be skipFailedInvocation equal to true, I think. Yes. So only it will fail for one time and remaining time it will be skipped, so that I will not be spending that effort for failing the test cases, so that I can correct my test case and the remaining thing I will be passed. So you could see now, right? You could see 3 executed and 1 failure. Why? Because the remaining failure it will not be considered, right? If you go here, you could able to see the remaining thing is skipped, remaining iteration. Only one time fail and remaining iteration got skipped. Skip fail invocation equal to true. But in case it's passing, so that will be ignored. So that it will be executed for the 5 times. So that is only applicable in case your first iteration is getting fail. But in case your first iteration is getting fast, that will be completely ignored and it will create for n number of time. But in case your any of the first iteration is getting failed, immediately it will stop the execution. For the remaining iteration will be skipped, so that you will not be wasting the time. So you could see now 7 iterations, 7 pass. You go here, all pass. 1 by 5, 2 by 5, 3 by 5, 4 by 5, like that. In the real time, you can create the data. Same test case you can execute n number of times. So that is the way. These are the important things available for invocation count, invocation, skip fail invocation. Then the last important part I will be covering here. Okay. So suppose say here you already seen, right, in case your Java class you want to run it, so you will be using running as a Java application. In case you are running any TestNG class, you will be running as a using TestNG test. But it is single level, right? Individual class you can run it. But my intention is to run all my classes at the same time. So how can I do that? So you for that you need to create a TestNG.xml file through which you can run multiple classes from the multiple packages. So what you can do, you can convert a normal project to a TestNG project, right? So you can just select that option project, right click here, there is an option called TestNG, you can convert to TestNG. Now you could able to see something called coming called suit name and test name. Initially we did not given, we did not create any TestNG file, so it is taking default suit default test, right? I can give some name called TestNG suit and TestNG test. So that name I'm giving based on, right? And these are the different classes, right? So I can remove the other Java classes that is not required. I will simply keep the TestNG classes. Okay, then I can click on next and I can simply click on finish. And then you could see here now, right, there will be testng.xml file is getting generated. That is the way after converting the project to the testng project. Now you could double click here and you can remove this part because I will be only concentrating on the testng class. Okay, so now you could see, right, suit name you can change it again also here also whatever is required. Test test name you can also change it. This is the tag, this is called a xml file, right, and you can change it accordingly. Now under the classes tag you can have n number of classes for multiple packages, so it will be package name dot class name. Now let's try to run it. So what option what was there, it was testng test. Now if you want to run it from the testng.xml file, so option will be testng suit. So means now we are running as a suit. Okay, now you could able to see both the classes will be run from the same package. Okay, so it will be based on the naming convention. You could see total 12 run. Now if you go here, you could see suit name got changed from where it is coming. It is coming from here. Test name got changed from where it is coming. It is coming from here. Now this is the one class. TestNG session 8 training, and here it's got run 7 part. Other class package name dot class it's got run. Now here I can create one more package. Say training 1. Package 1. Okay. Then here I can create a TestNG class, new class TestNG, say TestNG package 2, right? Anything you can give it, package 2, session 8, okay. And finish it, and here I can give something called say test 5, and I can copy any output name, and now I also want to add it. Okay, then how can I add it? I need to go to the TestNG.xml file and I need to create that classes information under the classes tag. Okay, that is the way you can have n number of method. What is the classes package name? Training 1. So I'll be changing it to training 1. What is the class name? This is my class name. I can change it here. Okay. Now you can run it, so the three classes right from the different package will be also executed without any headache or issue. That is the way in the real time, right? In case I want to run n number of classes from the n number of package, it will be definitely driven, right? I can do it. So two package, three class will be executed now. So you need to give under the classes tag, right, package name dot the class name, and you can change your test name, suit name, anything. You could see 13 got executed, so our output is coming. Now if you go here, you could able to see suit name, and this is the one classes, right, package name classes. This is the method, other classes method, and this is the last classes from the other package method. Now if you refresh your project, you could able to see the report, right, in the TestNG dot test output folder. If you click here, you can go with open with web browser. Now you could see this is the three different classes and this is the method, right? Total number of execution done and whatever output is there, right, you could able to see it. Now in that output folder also, if you already gone, you already go to the failed test guys, no failure. If you go to summary, now you could see three classes got executed and the 13 method got executed. So that is the way, right? If you want to execute multiple classes, right, multiple test cases from the different packages within the same project, you can also do it. Just I will recapture one more time, then I will take the questions in case you are having anything. Okay. So testing is nothing but the testing the next generation. It's a JUnit inspired framework. So JUnit came first, but it is having less features. But testing is having more feature. TestNG primarily used for like functional end-to-end integration and smoke testing as well. Testing is having few features. It can generate some report, like it can be integrated with the Maven Jenkins easily. It is having the grouping features. It can do the data-driven testing, parameterization part I will cover next tomorrow. It is having lot of annotations. There is no use requirement of the main method. There are a lot of annotations, right? I can execute same test case again and again and again. I can prioritize the test cases. I can enable or disable the test cases, right? First you need to install the test case TestNG in the Eclipse. After that you need to associate it because TestNG will be library to your project. After that you can create a TestNG class and then you can have your code. So at the test bin it will be considered as test cases and remaining annotation will be supporting annotations only. So you can enable disable test case. By default it will be enabled, so in case you want to disable some test case it will be enabled equal to false. And you can also do the priority, right? Sometime it will be run based on the alphabetical order, ascending order, but in case you want to rectify your execution with the priority, okay, so that you can uh, do the giving the proper priority, so it will take the numeric and zero and positive numeric value only, negative to positive, another value it will not take. Assertion is nothing but the, if you want to add some validation point you can do it. So hard assertion means definitely it will assert it and it will certify your steps, right, with the expected and the actual result. But in case your failure is coming, remaining line will not be executed. That is the drawback of this hard assertion. So to avoid that drawback, you can use the soft assertion. So you can create an object or instance for the soft assert class. After that you can call the relevant method for doing the assertion, so that test cases will be fail but remaining line of code can be executed, so that in a single test cases or in a single class you can have n number of failure using the soft assertion. There are depends on methods, right? In case you want to make something dependent you can do it, so that in case your dependent method is getting failed, remaining thing will be skipped. But if you still want to execute, so you can make it always run equal to yes. In case you want to execute same test case again and again and again, you can use invocation count. equal to the numeric value. And if you so that in case it is all passed only, then all the iteration will be executed. But in case anything failed, right, and if you don't want to execute the remaining iteration, so you can use skip field invocation equal to true. And after that, right, you can create n number of package from the same project, and then you can create n number of TestNG classes under the different packages. And in case you want to run all your classes at the same time, you can convert it. You can create a testng.xml file. You can give your own kind of test name or should name, right? And you can have add all the class under the classes tag. It will be package name to the class name. Then you can run as a testng suite, and it will give you all the result. And in the test output folder, every time it will be created, you can get the desired result. And in the next session, right, I will cover few of the important aspect, like how to do the parallel testing, right, what is the data provider parameterization, right, what is listeners, right, and how we can do the grouping, all this stuff. So next session will be very, very interesting. So that's all from today's session, guys. Thank you.